the moment people realize you can walk away is the moment they start fearing losing you. That's the truth. Most women forget when they overstay, overgive, and overwrite themselves into someone else's life. When you're always available, always forgiving, always explaining, you become invisible. And invisibility in the eyes of desire is a death sentence. In case no one ever told you this, your absence is a power move. It's the most elegant mic drop you'll ever perform. Let's slow down. Close your eyes for a second. Picture this. It's 10:17 p.m. on a Thursday. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, staring at that last message he left unread. It wasn't rude, but it wasn't enough. You wait 10 minutes, 32 hours. You want to send something witty, something chill, something that says I'm cool, really. But instead, you put the phone down, and the silence, it speaks louder than any haha yeah text ever could. You just practiced the first secret. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, comment below with your city and what time it is right now. I'm curious who's awake with me. Now, let's calm down and begin our journey of listening and healing together today. You remember the first time you realized someone didn't appreciate you until you were gone. It stung, but also something shifted. You felt the air change when they came running back, panicked, suddenly realizing what they lost. And what if I told you that moment wasn't luck? It was a psychological mechanism. Studies in behavioral psychology have long confirmed that intermittent reinforcement, not consistencies, what creates obsession. It's not the daily good morning texts that create longing. It's when you suddenly don't text. It's when your attention, once constant, becomes rare. Your presence is a currency. And when you flood the market with yourself, you crash your own value. Want to hear something weird? Birds do it too. There's a species of bird, the satin bowerbird, where the male decorates a little bachelor pad with shiny blue objects to attract females. The catch: if he's too flashy or too available, the female avoids him. But if he paces it just enough sparkle, just enough space, he becomes irresistible. Humans aren't that different. Too much presence dulls appreciation. Absence, when intentional, rewires how others perceive you. Now, I'm not saying ghost everyone and live in the woods, but here's what to do. 1. Delay your reply on purpose. Not out of games, but to remind yourself, your attention is a gift, not a reflex. 2. Exit calmly when disrespected. No grand speeches, no emotional outbursts, just leave the room end. The message will echo louder than any words. 3. Take solo time seriously. Cancel a plan? Say no. Spend a Saturday with just your mind and a long walk. Let people notice the quiet in your absence. Because guess what? Experts still debate whether love fades because of familiarity or neglect. But one thing is sure, when you withhold access, you rebuild mystery. You shift from she's always there to where is she? And once you do that, the dynamic flips. You're no longer the one waiting. You're the one being watched, desired, feared. Remember that? Ex who suddenly posted nostalgic pictures when you stopped checking their stories. That friend who got weirdly needy when you went quiet for a week. That coworker who started complimenting your ideas only after you stopped chasing validation. They didn't change. You did. You pulled back. You removed the air they were breathing. And they finally noticed it had your name on it. It's strange how we treat what's always available as disposable, but the moment it's gone, we panic. And in that panic, respect is born. So, if you've ever felt like your kindness was taken for granted, if you've ever wondered why being always there made them care less, maybe you don't need to do more. Maybe you just need to disappear strategically. I know, it sounds a little dark, but sometimes love needs absence the way fire needs oxygen. It burns brighter with space. And don't worry, I'm not telling you to become some emotionally distant ice queen. I'm telling you to reclaim your rhythm, give when it's meaningful, not habitual, speak when it matters, not just when it's expected. Because the woman everyone fears losing isn't loud. She's not begging. She's not online every hour, proving she's unbothered. She's just gone until she's not. And when she returns, people hold their breath. You ready for the next secret? Let's keep going. Don't trade mystery for Apervel. You've done it. We all have overshared on a first date, laughed too loudly at a joke that wasn't funny, typed and retyped that message, deleting and editing just to come off cool, but not cold. But let's call it what it is. A desperate little dance for approval. And every time you do it, something subtle slips away from you, your mystery. You think you're connecting, but what you're really doing is stripping yourself bare in the hopes they'll like what they see. Problem is, no one fears losing what they fully understand. Carl Jung believed the human psyche is not meant to be fully known. We are layers upon layers of contradiction and unconscious desire. When you give too much too soon, you flatten that complexity. You make yourself digestible, and digestible is forgettable. Think about it. You've never obsessed over a man who told you everything in the first hour, but the one who left some things unsaid, the one who didn't always respond the way you expected. He haunted you. You see where I'm going with this? Let me take you into a little scene. You're sitting at brunch with your friend Tara. She's swiping through Bumble like a woman on a mission. Look at this guy, she says, showing you the screen. Literally told me his entire life story in 2 paragraphs. Childhood trauma, ex-girlfriend drama, his therapist's name. I didn't even ask. You both laugh because it's too much too soon. And it's not just unattractive, it is uncomfortable mystery. On the other hand, is magnetic. And not because it's manipulative, but because it leaves space for imagination. Space for someone to wonder, to chase, to invest. Here's a scientific truth for you. The Zeigarnik psychological phenomenon where people remember incomplete or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Translation. We obsess over the unresolved. So when someone can't quite figure you out, their mind keeps replaying, analyzing, returning to you. Want to know something most people don't realize? Approval is addictive. Literally, when you receive social validation, praise, attention, your brain releases dopamine. It feels good, so you chase more of it. But like any drug, the more you use it, the more you need it to feel okay. And suddenly you're oversharing again, over-explaining, over-performing, trying to earn something that a powerful woman never begs for. Acceptance. Here's what you should do. Instead to 1, pause before revealing. Next time someone asks you a personal question, take a breath, ask yourself, do I want to share this, or am I trying to be liked? Choose silence when silence is stronger. 2. Master the art of suggestion. You don't have to say, I'm heartbroken. You can say, that chapter taught me what not to repeat. Intrigue is an implication. 3. Protect your sacred space. Not everyone deserves your full story. Make people earn the right to witness your depth. Here's the twist. People assume that being mysterious means being fake, cold, guarded, but mystery isn't about hiding, it's about pacing. It's the slow reveal, the soft, maybe instead of a loud yes. It's leaving the door slightly ajar, not swinging it wide open. And here's something funny. The more mysterious you are, the more people project their best hopes onto you. They imagine you as kinder, deeper, more interesting just because they haven't seen all of you yet. And that projection, it builds desire faster than any Instagram thirst trap ever could. Experts still debate whether emotional intimacy requires full transparency or just authenticity. But one thing is clear, what is rare becomes revered. What is always explained becomes expected. So if you find yourself telling your whole life story to someone who hasn't earned it, stop. Sit with the silence. Let the conversation breathe. Because the woman everyone fears losing, she doesn't trade mystery for a moment of comfort. She doesn't break herself open just to fill someone's curiosity. She holds herself like a secret, and only the worthy ever get close enough to read between her lines. Let's move on. The next secret is quiet, but it's devastatingly powerful. You ready? Self-control is your silent weapon. There's something terrifyingly attractive about a woman who doesn't flinch. Not because she's emotionless, but because she's emotionally trained. She doesn't explode. She doesn't chase. She doesn't beg for clarity when someone walks away. Instead, she sips her coffee slower. She nods. She closes the door gently. That's self. And in today's world, where everyone is reacting, oversharing, screenshotting, spiraling, a woman who stays still is dangerous. You know, this deep down, you've seen her. Maybe you've been her. Let's rewind. Remember that time someone tried to trigger you with silence? You stared at the empty chat bubble. Your thumb hovered. You typed something sharp, deleted it, typed again, but then you didn't send it. You sat with the discomfort. You walked away, and maybe they never got a response, but they felt the consequence. That right there, that was power. Because when you can regulate yourself, no one else gets to control you. Here's the science. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, the center of decision-making and impulse control, is the last part to develop and the first to go offline under stress. But with emotional discipline, meditation, and conscious practice, you strengthen it. You increase the gap between stimulus and response. And that gap, that breath of silence, that's where freedom lives. But there's a more subtle truth. Self-control is sexy because it triggers uncertainty in others. When someone expects you to fight and you don't. When they try to provoke and you blink instead. They start questioning themselves. Did I go too far? Why didn't she react? Is she over me or worse, above me? That disorientation is powerful. A strange fact. Lobsters have dominance hierarchies. Yes, lobsters. And when two lobsters fight, the one that doesn't react immediately holds tension and times their move usually wins. Because stillness signals control and control signals strength. People are no different. Here's how to practice. Self-control without losing your softness. 1. Delay your emotions. Feel everything. But wait 24 hours before reacting. If it still matters tomorrow, respond with clarity, not adrenaline. 2. Master the micro movement. The raised eyebrow, the pause, the half smile. Subtle body language can speak louder than paragraphs of explanation. 3. Be boring when provoked. Yes, boring. Say things like noted or I see. Let them swim in their own drama while you sip your peace like chamomile tea. You might think, but if I don't express myself, they'll never know they hurt me. But darling, people know. And what they fear most isn't your rage, it's your withdrawal. Experts still argue whether emotional intelligence is more nature or nurture. But one thing is clear. Those who can pause and choose their response are perceived as more competent, more respected and, ironically, more desirable. Why? Because unpredictability isn't about chaos, it's about restraint. A woman who reacts to every poke becomes predictable. A woman who holds her composure, she becomes the riddle no one can solve. And remember, control isn't about being cold. It's about being deliberate. The woman everyone fears losing doesn't slam doors. She closes them quietly, then goes home and waters her plants. So next time someone tries to get a rise out of you, don't give them the satisfaction. Smile. Adjust your crown and leave them wondering what storm you didn't show them. Let's keep going. The next secret will challenge everything you thought you knew about connection, your boundaries. Create desired people. Think boundaries push others away. But what if I told you they actually pulled the right people closer? Not because you're being cold, but because you're finally showing the world what it takes to be in your presence. Here's the truth no one wants to admit. A woman without boundaries is not seen as generous, she's seen as available. And available in a world addicted to chase is often mistaken for disposable. You've been there. You say yes when you mean maybe. You answer the late texts because what if he really needs me? You clear your schedule just to be seen as easygoing, flexible, low-maintenance. But let me ask you something. Did they ever thank you for that? No, because people rarely appreciate what costs you everything if it looks like it costs you nothing. So let's flip the script. What if your no is the very thing that makes your yes feel sacred? Picture this. It's a Sunday. Your phone lights up. He wants to hang. No plan. No respect for your time. Old, you would have jumped. New you. You text back, I have plans. Hope you have a good one. Then you actually go for that walk. Or read that book. Or take a nap with your phone on silent and your soul at peace. Suddenly, you're not chasing anymore. Your choosing boundaries are seductive. Not because they punish others, but because they teach people how to value you. Here's something from neuroscience. Dopamine spikes higher when reward is uncertain. When someone has to earn your time, your attention, your affections, they value it more. Not because you're manipulated, but because effort creates meaning. And here's something weird. Elephants mourn boundaries. In the wild, when a matriarch dies, younger elephants struggle to follow migration paths. Why? Because she was the boundary. She knew when to move, when to stay, where to feed. Without her, they feel lost. You are someone's map, but only if you first become your own. So let's make this practical. 1. Say no without apology. Not, I'm sorry, I just can't. Say, that doesn't work for me. Period. Let the silence teach them respect. Point 2. Define your sacred spaces. Maybe it's your Sunday mornings, your 9 p.m. bedtime, your solo walks with your favorite podcast. Protect these like treasure because they are 3. Walk away once, not 5 times. Stop giving chances to people who treat your boundaries like negotiable contracts. 1 disrespect equals 1 graceful exit. You're not being high maintenance. You're being high standard. And believe it or not, the people who matter won't walk away. They'll step up. They'll adjust. They'll respect the rules of your kingdom because they want to stay in it. Experts still debate whether boundaries should be flexible or fixed. But one thing is for sure, boundaries aren't walls. They're filters. They don't keep everyone out. They let the right ones in. The woman everyone fears losing doesn't have to beg for love. She doesn't prove she's worthy. She simply lives by her values. And people either align or disappear. Both are a blessing. And the best part, once you set your boundaries, the wrong ones fall away. And the right ones finally have a chance to show up, ready for the last, most powerful, secret, let's finish strong. Be the source, not the seeker. There's a moment in every woman's life when she realizes she was never meant to chase. Not love. Not attention. Not validation. And that moment feels like breathing for the first time. Because when you stop seeking and start being, something radical happens. People start orbiting around you. Let me take you there. You're at a dinner party. Everyone's buzzing, who's texting, who ghosted, who's trying to manifest someone back. But you're sitting there, calm. Your laugh is soft but real. You're not checking your phone. You're not wondering who's watching because you already know who you are. And in that moment, without even trying, you become the most magnetic person in the room. Why? Because you're not trying to get chosen. You're the one doing the choosing. Carl Jung once hinted that the true whole selfies, not something we go out and find. It's something we allow to emerge once we stop trying to be everything for everyone. And that's what being the source is about. It's no longer about chasing the spark. You become the fire. Think about it. When you seek love, you often dilute yourself. You shapeshift. You shrink. You perform. But when you are loved, when your energy feeds itself, nourishes itself, sustains itself, people feel it. They can't always name it, but they're drawn to it. And here's the plot twist. People fear losing you most when they realize they were never the prize. you were. Let's ground this with biology. In nature, female animals are often the choosers. Peahens decide which peacock's feathers impress. Lionesses decide when and with whom to mate. And guess what? The males compete to be noticed. But somewhere along the way, women forgot they were the source of selection. Forgot that silence speaks. Forgot that not texting back is a message. So how do you stop being the seeker? Ask yourself, what do I want to feel? Not who do I want to get? Shift the focus inward. Crave peace, not presence. Safety, not status. Fill your own table first. Take yourself to dinner. Create beauty in your space. Build a life so full that when someone enters, they're just adding color, not oxygen. Let people leave. Don't cling. Don't chase. Let go with grace, knowing that you don't lose. Pipaloo. Lose illusions. Here's an odd truth. Bees are more attracted to people who wear light, floral scents, and move slowly. It's not the loud, frantic waving that draws them, it's the calm. Sweet energy. Humans aren't so different. Experts still argue if true confidence is taught or innate, but one thing is clear. When you become the source, you stop depending on reactions to validate your radiance. The woman everyone fears losing doesn't chase the text. She writes in her journal. She waters her plants. She gets a full night's sleep. Because she knows if it's meant for her, it will stay without her having to lose herself. So, if you've ever felt like you're too much when you're being yourself, or not enough when you try to fit into someone else's box, it's time to come home. Back to your center, back to your power. You are not a seeker. You are the sun. And the ones who can't handle your heat, let them seek shade. Because the woman everyone fears losing is the one who knows she is already whole, already worthy, already enough. And with that, we breathe. So now, let's soften the pace. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Exhale. You walked through 5 layers of truths. Some gentle, some sharp. You faced the parts of yourself that over-explain, and overstay. But also the parts that are ready to return, to reclaim, to rise. You are not someone who needs to convince others of your worth. You are someone learning to enjoy your own presence so deeply that anyone who enters your life must elevate the peace you already built. Let go of the narrative that love must be earned. Let go of the urge to prove, to please, to perform. From this day forward, move like someone they'd be foolish to lose. Speak like someone who doesn't fear silence. Love like someone who doesn't need to beg for it back. This isn't a performance. It's a return to your value. Return to your boundaries. Return to your brilliance without apology. Some people won't understand. They'll say you've changed. They'll call it arrogance. But you'll know it's alignment. And the ones who are meant to walk with you, they won't be intimidated by your strength. They'll be honored by it. So take your power back. Wear your silence like silk. Move with calm. Speak with clarity. And remember, the woman everyone fears losing is simply the one who's no longer afraid of being alone.